So I came across this map just goofing around, and this one is 1865 map. So let me get it in the frame here. And just a couple of spots if you're up in the Gwinnett area that may kind of, be useful for you to know about. There's Gainesville, easy markable spot. Right down below that, you'll see there's a road that cuts off. That's down the other side of Oakwood, and you'll notice it crosses the Chattahoochee at the shallow ford. There were a number of shallow fords on the Chattahoochee, and that was one of them. If you follow the Chattahoochee down, you'll see this road right here. This is the old federal road. This is the road that passed through the Cherokee territory that was made as part of a treaty agreement that went from the Young's Tavern area across the Cherokee territory to Tellico Blockhouse, not far from Sweetwater, Tennessee. Young's Tavern is just above the Falcons complex. You'll see the marker there, and that's their practice facility right there. And then they've recently graded a bunch of land, and there were actually a bunch of artifacts that were over there. The big blocks from the original house still kind of stand in a ditch back behind there. If you were to follow Ridge Road out from Young's Tavern, that would bring you down toward the city of Mulberry. That was one of the locations of the Hog Mountain Post Office. You'll see this high ridge right here. This high ridge on Ridge Road is the highest point in Gwinnett County, and it's just as you cross into Gwinnett County from Hall County. And that would be just down below, if you're familiar where the Buford Corn Maze is at, it's just down below that. It comes over here and you'll see this kind of Y shape. This Y shape would have been in the area where the Hog Mountain Kroger is, not far from where Fort Daniel is located. And so that was how those roads crossed there. And then if you went back kind of over the ridge, would be Kane's district. That was for, Kane's Circle is one of the places there, old man Carl Kane's family. That was that area, and then it came down here to Auburn. Interesting fact, Auburn is in a very different place. When the railroad came through, they actually moved Auburn further south to be closer to the railroad. So they actually picked it up, moved it down. That community then became known as Fence. So if you're familiar with Fence Road, that took you through the Fence community. If you took Fence Road going toward Lawrenceville, you'd go by Chinkapin Grove. Chinkapin Grove is, my grandfather told me the grove of Chinkapin trees is about where Decula Elementary School is now. So that's where Chinkapin Grove was. And again, Decula became a town when the railroad came through. So Chinkapin Grove, essentially, Dr. Freeman and them moved their offices from Chinkapin Grove down into town there, and kind of when Decula came on, and then over here to Lawrenceville is where that road goes. You can see there's the Appalachie River. There's the headwaters of it. The headwaters is somewhere behind the Georgia Gun Club, and so Fort Daniel would have been right there. So if you're ever interested, you can see that. Here's another name that might prove unique to you, Jug Tavern. We call it Winder today. So that is another unique place, kind of a place to call out and know. The Cutoff District, that's still a place right down there in Walton County. And so just a few neat things from around the area if you're interested. Now, Mulberry folks, there's the Mulberry Fork of the Middle Oconee River. We now call it the Little Mulberry River. You can see that's where that heads out right through there. And there was a community called Mulberry that existed on the other side, not far from where county line is at now. So there you go, just a few places that you may know about or have heard about, and there's where they were on the map in 1865.